Now, I've read a majority of personal finance books that people recommend for beginners, from Think and Grow Rich to Psychology of Money to Rich Dad Poor Dad, but having read them myself, I honestly can't recommend any of these for beginners. But if I were to recommend one book and you were truly new to the space and you were a beginner and you wanted to read a book, I would only recommend you The Richest Man in Babylon, and there's a few reasons for that. And the first reason is it's not a long book, it's only about 100 pages. So for most people, you can get over this in about a day or two. And if you were to compare this to Rich Dad Poor Dad, these are night and day difference, and we're talking about a beginner, so most likely they'd want to choose the shorter book. And because it's a shorter book, the mental gymnastics of not wanting to pick it up are sort of eliminated. Another reason would be that it's in a story-based format, so whenever you're reading a book, especially when it comes to finances, it's in a dry first-person point of view, but this covers multiple stories over a timeline, so it keeps you engaged. And even though this book is 100 years old, it's still able to keep your attention because it's broken down into multiple chapters over multiple stories, and it all covers the same information that a majority of the larger books cover. And another main reason to recommend a book like this, especially for someone who's a beginner, is it's a cheap book, so you can probably find the Kindle version for as low as $1, and this is just another lowering the hurdle for someone who just doesn't even want to get into the space. You're finding a book that's effectively short, it's a story based to keep their attention, and it's a cheap book for them to have no excuses to not want to pick it up. Because let's be honest, most finance books for beginners are just boring books. So having a short story base that breaks it up and keeps your attention is honestly rare. Because at the end of the day, it's always easier for me to recommend a short story book like this than effectively a dictionary for most people. Now, I'll have a link down in the description if you want to buy the book, but if you enjoyed the video, like or subscribe for more content like this. And if there's any other underrated books that you want me to find out about that are in the finance niche, let me know down in the comments and maybe I'll make a video about them in the future.